Hello and welcome back to today's show. I am your host, Santi Hernandez, with
your co-host, Annalie Reyes.
I'm so excited to be back. I know the weather has been so nice, changing our outfits, which is fun to play around with. Today we'll be talking and learning more about Veterans Day, as well as doing a fun round of questions. Mm-hmm. But before we get into Veterans Day, I want to start with my icebreaker question, and it is, what do you drink when you are sick or in this cold weather?
I like drinking. I honestly don't mind drinking cold or hot. I feel like if I drink too hot, like my body gets warmed up so fast, and I don't really like that. But hot drinks, I think atol de elote is like my favorite, and it's like corn, a hot drink of corn, if that makes sense in English. And aveno, which is oatmeal, like warmed up oatmeal. It's like a hot drink. Yeah. We call it mush, right?
Mush, yeah.
Mush, there we go.
Well, I was trying to find the definition of what atole is because a lot of people wouldn't know what an atole is. But an atole is basically a hot drink or that is consists of different ingredients and very different types. There's atol de elote, atol de arroz con leche, atol de plátano, and then there's mosh, which is atol de avena.
Have you tried atol de plátano?
Yeah, I actually make it.
Oh, that's so cool. So you just like pure it, the plátano?
Yeah, so I say I make it, but I made it once and it came out so good. But what I basically do is you get plantains, and you boil, you wash it very well, and then you boil the plátano in a pot. And then after
with the skin,
and then after that, because the skin has flavor, so in the water that you boil it with, and then after I remove the skin, and then I use a blender and I blend it, and then I chop like tiny little pieces, and then I use the same water so the flavor is there. It's just really good. It's one of my favorite ways to drink it. But for me, speaking about atol, I drink a lot of atol during winter times. My family is big on making atol, and the only thing I don't drink as much is arroz con leche.
Oh, why? Yeah, because of the milk, or
I don't, because of the milk, but also I just it's always something that we always drink, and I'm just
really?
like, I don't want that anymore. But my favorite is atol de elote. My mom just made atol de elote yesterday, but they actually went to a farm and picked out corn, and then my grandma sat there and like
picked it?
Yeah,
like picked
one by one, and then they made that fresh atol de elote. Has a very different taste when you make it from home, and the original recipe per se, because my grandma made it, versus the one that they use in most restaurants, which is the canned corn. So it has a very different flavor, and atol de elote is also used in Dia de los Muertos, which is why this time is very when they make it.
I see.
Yeah, but I like coffee and anything warm, I guess. I love tea. I'm a big tea person. I'm not really a big sugar person. So with my teas, I sometimes drink it without anything. But if I do want something to make my tea sweet, I'll use honey. I won't use sugar. But yeah.
That's so crazy. When you mentioned arroz con leche, I was like, oh wait, that's my favorite one.
Really?
Yeah. But my mom makes it with soy milk, because like I think we're both like lactose intolerant, so like it.
Oh, you can make it with soy milk? I've never tried it with soy milk. Now you're giving me an idea. That is so interesting. Yeah. I would want to try atol de arroz con leche.
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the fun part though, because arroz con leche in other countries is used very differently. Because like in Guatemala, it's used as a drink. But when I went to Costa Rica, in the school, they had pastries for sale. And they're like, it's arroz con leche. And I thought it was like, oh my God, a warm drink. But it was literally a little plate with arroz con leche. And they were telling me that that was a dessert. And I was like, oh. So arroz con leche is the most famous one, I guess you can say, all around. But everybody has a different way to
I'm obsessed with horchata. And it's kind of like similar, but like different. Right?
Yeah.
I think horchata is like more colder, and then arroz con leche is warm.
Yeah. I love making horchata from home, like from scratch.
Me too.
I love that.
Me
It has a
too.
different taste versus when you buy it in the store. Oh my God. If once you try like the original way they do it, it has a different flavor and it's hard for you to enjoy other parts.
No, I'm gonna make one after the show too.
Oh, really?
But vegan, so
Okay.
and it's actually good, so I love it. I love doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but moving on. Let's
We got into that, which is good, just to kind of ease into the conversation. Speaking of warm drinks and all of that, I think that we have Veterans Day this Friday, and it's
coming up.
yeah, and a lot of people are not aware or don't understand what it is. People confuse what it is. But I wanted to ask you, do you know when it started?
When it started, I might have peaked, but I'm not sure if it's
okay.
right. 1983.
1983. Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because it started honoring veterans of the armed forces and those killed in the country's war. So any war the United States has been in. The observance originated in 1919 on the first anniversary of the 1918 armistice that ended World War I.
Wow.
And was known as the Armistice Day. So the original name of Veterans Day was, am I saying that right? Armistice?
Armistice. Yeah.
Armistice?
Yeah.
Armistice Day to commemorate the ending of World War I. However, do you know when it was changed?
No, but I'm upset that I didn't get it because, I should know the dates for World War One.
Okay, so let me see, just to get this straight. Because of the signing of the treaty, wait. Okay, so it was recognized on November 11th as the end of the war in 1986, and officially to honor World War I veterans. But it was changed to Veterans Day much later. So the original name was Armistice Day, and you'll find out later on that a lot of other countries, aside from the U.S., celebrates this holiday, but they don't call it Veterans Day. They use it, the original name as Armistice Day. I might be saying that wrong. That kind of sounds wrong to me, but that was originally when it started in 1919, and then eventually grew and has been evolved over the years.
Okay.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really cool to learn about that because honestly, I could have known with the context clues of World War One, but it's nice to know the original name because I didn't know that, and I feel like you would have to do some research for that. But now I know it's Armistice Day originally. But I wanted to ask you, do you know what's the difference between Marines and Army?
Okay, I'm gonna get. I won't be. I might be bad at this. So Army, to me, is someone. Well, this is kind of hard because some people are gonna be like, "Oh my, she doesn't know." But to me, Marines are the ones that are extreme and they go into extreme situations. That's who they call. And then Army is their first line of in a battle. I don't know why the Army comes like that, because then you have other branches like the Air Force and et cetera, et cetera. But that was my understanding, but correct me now.
No. I think the reason why we're asking questions is so that we know where we at, and then we can learn each other. And I think that's the best way to go, especially in this environment. And we hope our viewers also know that we're doing this so we all can learn, because we all, even us as hosts, we have to research stuff to make sure we know what we're talking about and stuff like that. But moving on, Marines, I had to look this up as well.
Okay.
Marines, they're a member of a body troop trained to serve on land or sea. And I think that's like the main difference from Marines and Army. So the United States Army is only responsible for land-based operations,
okay.
meaning they only occupy military duties that take place on a solid ground where areas the Marines are considered to handle ambiguous or ambitious operations. This means that they can control military operations, whether those land, air, or water. So I didn't know that. I thought Marines was more like water based, but
Really?
but it's land, air, and water. So I feel like, yeah, it's a lot.
Well, maybe that's why I said, well, that's not maybe, because from my understanding is like they are trained in a lot of areas. So when something is big like that, those are the people they call. That was my understanding. But I didn't know that it was just like land stuff. But the Army makes sense. So the Army's land-based operations. Got it.
I thought Army was higher than Marines, but I guess
Oh, really?
I
I knew the other one was higher, but I just didn't know the training type. But that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Now I know, which is really nice to know. But yeah, do you have any questions
No.
to ask me?
Oh, sorry. Well, one of the questions that I had is, do you know what other countries celebrate this holiday?
Anyone else who celebrates this holiday?
Aside from the U.S. Sorry.
Oh, I'm thinking based off what we just talked about, like the countries that were fighting World War I. So this is like very history based, and I'm ashamed that I'm not gonna get this right. Okay, I honestly don't know. Okay. I need to look it up, but maybe something with NATO or the countries that were union with the United States probably celebrated around the same day.
I'm gonna name them off. So Canada, France, Belgium, United Kingdom, Germany, New Zealand, and Australia, and many more celebrate Veterans Day. Again, a lot of them have different names for them. Canada and Australia observe Remembrance Day on November 11th. So that's the name of that holiday, Remembrance Day. Great Britain observes Remembrance Day on the Sunday nearest to November. Just two examples of what that is. And each country celebrates it very differently. I know in the U.S., a lot of parades are done. And of course, a lot of people have the time off for this holiday. But I thought it was just something in the U.S., but there are other countries that celebrate this.
Yeah, when you're talking about that, I think it makes sense that like every country celebrates, at least in a different way, but like the same form of way, if that makes sense. Like remembering people who like fought for their land, you know what I'm saying? Because like our perspective, like people have like, you know, like I don't know how to explain it, but like they have a land and they have people who fought to protect that land. And so United States is just the land, for example, is just the land. And then let's say Belgium is just the land. And they both like fought for people who fought for like safety and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like every country in the world does that some sort. Hopefully, I don't know, but yeah, that's my guess. But moving on, I think I'm gonna ask, do you know the difference between a I'm getting it wrong, Veterans Day and Memorial Day?
So Veterans, okay, I actually do know this one. Okay, yeah, because Memorial Day kind of, I remember this because like morning, right, people? No way. When
when you mourn.
Yeah, there you go. So Memorial Day kind of sounds the same. So for me, it's Memorial Day is the honoring those who have passed away, in the military, like serving. That is my understanding of that, which might be different And then Veterans Day is honoring anyone who is currently alive, who has served in the military or is currently serving. Wait, I think someone who's alive and currently serving, or not served. My bad. Did you get what I said?
Wait. Choose one. Choose one.
So Memorial Day is honoring those who passed away while serving. Veterans Day honors those who served who are still alive.
Okay.
There you go.
I think got it right.
Okay.
It says Veterans Day celebrates the service of all U.S. military veterans. The term veteran means a person who served in active military, naval, or air service and who has discharged or released therefrom under conditions other than dishonorable, while Memorial Day honors those who have died while in military service. So,
Okay.
got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, I do have another, well, not a question, just a clarification, because I kind of got messed up in the beginning. But so in 1919, it was the beginning of the holiday. In 1954, President D. Eisenhower officially changed the name to the holiday to Veterans Day in 1954, right? In 1968, it was passed by Congress, which moved the celebration of Veterans Day to the fourth Monday in October. The law went into effect in 1971, but in 1975, President Gerald Ford returned Veterans Day to November 11th. So this holiday, like it's in the beginning, that it's been moved around and kind of changed. But the date for November 4th was brought back because it's the significance of the date. So remember that the Armistice Day was a show of like the ending of World War One, all right? And then till this day, Veterans Day commemorates veterans of all wars, right? And so just want to get a clarification, and that would be my last note for
Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I personally like this quick, fast rundown, I guess, of Veterans Day. I think I learned a lot of just like these facts, and I think it clarified a lot of stuff that I should have known, but now I know, you know what I'm saying? Because I've always heard of Veterans Day, but I haven't like done like further research about it, and yeah, I just noticed I do have one more question, and that's if do you celebrate Veterans Day?
When we talk about celebrating, I think that's where it gets a little tricky because I don't celebrate. I have family members that are currently serving and family members that are currently not serving anymore, but I think when you talk about celebrate, I feel like people who actually have family members and they're very close to probably would celebrate more. But I think it's important. I said that didn't have anything else to add on to Veterans Day, but I actually do. When we talk about celebrating, I think it's just honoring those who serve for our country. Again, we have so many opportunities today, but a lot of people have paid the price for it. A lot of people have been there for the U.S., right? And sometimes we don't agree with everything that happens in our country, but the safety that we have in many ways, or the opportunity, correction, is due to so many people, you know, going and serving for us, right? And with that being said, I think being a veteran is such an interesting lifestyle and choice, because I wish we had a veteran here to talk about it, because a lot of these people go into training and they witness a lot of things, and when they come out of it,
it can be very traumatic.
There's a lot of mentally different things going on. You don't come back as the same person as you were when you went in. So I think it's such an interesting topic of being able to say thank you. And we see a lot of veterans on the street without a leg, without an arm. And some of them, just because of the traumatized things that they saw or witnessed, are into drugs and alcohol, and they're on the street. A lot of veterans are homeless. So I wish we had someone here, and hopefully in the future we can have someone to talk about a little bit more of that side. But I think I want to ask you, like, how can we celebrate Veterans Day?
I think you've like mentioned it before, and it's like saying like just like recognizing those who like fought for our country, fought for our freedom, and if you know someone that's close to you and your family, then just like you can like send like little card notes saying thank you, and or you know, just like small little things. It can be even anonymously, just like appreciating these acts of service. And I think everything that you said is like it makes sense, and I agree with it, because like they go through so much, and it's like a tough decision to like choose to be a veteran, or someone who like works in the army or armed force,
Someone who serves.
And I literally like, there's like so much movies about like the army and stuff, and most of them are sad. Like they're very like, I don't know, it like, and it kind of shows like just a glimpse of it, because like we can't like talk the perspective of someone, but like we can see like their little glimpse through the movies. And
I agree with you.
Movies, but like what's it called? It's like they're true stories.
Documentaries?
Yes, documentaries.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I mean, it's not easy, and it's I think there's a lot of benefits with being in the serving the military, but there are also some very interesting or hard choices and challenges. That's the right word. Challenges that each one faces. A lot of them have families, and they leave their families behind, and so it's a very you're committed, but get good stuff. But at the same time, there's so much to it that I wouldn't know how to talk on behalf of them, but I am grateful. Like I said, I might not agree with what everything's been happening in the U.S., but I know that these that because of many of them, we have the opportunities that we have, and I can't do much but say thank you, and really from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all of the work that each and everyone has been doing for the past years, and have done way before that.
I would agree. Thank you guys, if you guys are watching.
With that being said, just to transition, we're gonna play a song, Pa Adelante, and then we'll be right back.
Right. Oh,
yay.
This society try to crush my spirit, but my chicano soul don't fall. I'm 100 with it. Mi gente dice al 100, puro pa' adelante. Pa' atrás a más, que ese hueco en vivo ya verás. Vamos, vamos, pa' adelante. Vamos, vamos, pa' adelante. Vamos, vamos, pa' adelante. Vamos, vamos, yeah. So who's the victor? You Roman silver, the 30 coins of Judas. I'm Aztec gold, abundance of wealth that we've never told. I'm the mind alliance, youngest defiance, strongest stars, know the science. Duality the serpent, don't misinterpret. I'm fine wisdom, age in the temple of the serpent. I'm the flaminess of what chorus poems, wisdom that hits the soul. Nobility, we slip to these hard to fight every day. We born to prove victory, not to feign decay. I'm putting for chop princess, anything on her horse, ready for war. We don't die, we regenerate. Victory, our fate. On a cool breeze, I move with ease. My intellect stays strapped. I embrace my heritage. The brown, white, the black. I got my mind on my studies, and my studies on my mind. Ready to hit back with facts. Blackjack. So what's the meaning? Historical victory from the beginning.
Welcome back to today's show. We hope you guys liked Pa Adelante from Ismael Laura. It's a really good song, and so we're gonna continue with Spin the Wheel with random questions, and this is just to like get to know each other, I guess, because outside of work we don't really hang out that much. But
We got busy lives. It's not that we don't like each other.
yeah, that's for sure. But I'm gonna spin the wheel, and the first question is, what's your most favorite cereal and why?
Oh, I'm not a big cereal person, but if I could choose one, would be the honey. Wait, was it honey oats?
Honey oats, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
the little circle with the honey on top. Yeah, I really like those, especially.
Okay.
But I don't ever eat cereal as a breakfast. I usually eat it as a snack, because in my head, cereal has no big nutrition, and it doesn't fill me up. And I can get full quick, and then later I'm like, I need food right away. So it's usually a snack for me, or kind of like a dessert. But yeah, what about you?
I would say the same. I'm not a cereal person. I don't really eat in the morning. If I do have time, I will like eat a smoothie. But no me pasa. Like I don't know. I get too anxious in the morning, so like I don't really eat that much in the morning. But for cereal, I think when I was younger, I would eat honey oats, and those was like my favorite cereal. So I would say that one too. Okay. Not to steal your answer.
No, it's okay. I mean, I don't really buy cereal, so it's the only one that came up to my head, and it's the only one I would buy on my own.
I feel like I also like Lucky Charms because like I'm a sweet person.
Okay.
Lucky Charms. Yeah, there's other ones, but it's like they're all sugary, and yeah, I don't want to promote that. Anyways, the next question is, would you rather speak your mind or never speak again? That's a tough one.
What do you mean?
Would you rather speak your mind, like everything that you think, you're gonna like speak it out, or you never speak again, but you're like thinking in your head?
Oof. That's a tricky one.
I already know my answer.
What's your answer?
There's like this Bible verse where like they say like your tongue like burns you or something. Like if you say something bad, then it hurts you or your character. And so I feel like I would say never speak again, because I can use a notebook and like write down like what I want to say. And I feel like sometimes when I'm moody, like I can be mean. So like I don't want that. I don't want to intentionally hurt people's feelings or anything. But yeah, I would say that like write like notes. Yeah, because I don't know. It's fun that way too.
Yeah, well, I was a bit thinking about it because I think with me, I'm also the same way where I have a lot of ideas and opinions, but sometimes I keep it to myself because I'm like, that's not the right way. Or like, I think a lot about other ways before I try to be like, this is this. Right. So for me, it's like, maybe I'd rather not talk. You're right. But I also like to express what I think because I'm also a person that I can hold things in and then eventually I'll explode if I carry too much. So I like to leave things out. But there's a lot of things where sometimes you just gotta keep it yourself, you know? So I think it's always a balance. That would be my key.
No,
so that's a tricky question.
Yeah, because I feel like if I speak my mind out, I feel like I would cause a lot of unnecessary like fighting between other people. And because like there's like certain situations where like people have different opinions from you, and I usually tend to like keep it to myself. Like I listen to them and they listen to me, but like, you know, like I can't speak my mind because then, you know, I don't know. But sometimes I feel like I do speak out of my mind. Like I feel like I do that at school. But the next question is, okay, this one's more about Star Wars.
I don't know any Star Wars. you can go do another one if you want, because I don't know anything about Star Wars. Sorry, I know I need to do my homework on that. There's two things that I need to do homework on: Harry Potter and Star Wars.
I don't even read Harry Potter, and a lot of people are like, "You should read Harry Potter." I'm like,
it's something that I feel left out. I'm like, what is the hype about it? I need to know.
It's an easy question. Do you want to hear the question?
Yeah.
It's, would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader for the rest of your life?
You see that? I don't even know that.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying. I need to do my homework. I know to do my homework.
I've seen clips of Darth Vader, and he like
Darth Vader's which one? Oh my god. Which is
the guy with the black suit
and then
the
mask. And then Yoda is the
little Yoda.
the green one? Okay, I'm gonna say the green one. The green one. Yoda.
Yoda's so cute. But yeah, I would say Yoda too.
Man, and interesting because one of the directors and writers of Star Wars lives in Mill Valley.
Right.
So that is also like, man, we're local, but I know I need to do my homework on that.
Yeah, it's okay. So next question is, if you had to delete all but 3 apps on your phone, which ones would you keep? I feel like I have to look at my phone for this. Do you have an answer?
Apps that I need to keep? Okay. I'm going to say there is this app called IBO City, and this app allows me to listen to a lot of very successful entrepreneurs, and it really helps me because not only do they talk about financial stuff, they talk about education and kind of like how to make it into being successful. And successful doesn't mean necessarily just money-wise, means successful in relationships, in family, in health. So definitely one app I can't live without. And apps like that I download or that comes with my phone.
Is this on your phone? Because you have to delete all but 3 apps on your phone.
Well, I can't delete my messages, so that's okay. So I'm gonna say that, and then the next one is gonna be probably be. That's so interesting. Do you have another one?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't really use. I have a lot of apps, but I don't really use them. I think I would use Google Mail.
Google can't go without
Yeah.
Chrome. That's right, Chrome. You have Chrome, you got everything. So Chrome.
Google Calendar. I think that's the one for me. Google Calendar is the one.
So I'm gonna say, you said Google Calendar,
Google Email,
Google Email.
and then I don't know.
One more.
You know what? I'm gonna just, instead of social media, I would pick Snack Pass, because
Snack Pass. What is that?
Snack Pass is like an app where like college students, or I think anyone in particular, can just like order your food ahead and you earn points, and then you can send points to your friends or something like that. So
Really? I've never heard of that.
and Snack
Interesting.
Pack is like it's everywhere in all the restaurants in Berkeley. So like I feel like I would keep that.
Okay.
And you're able to see all the restaurants there that's available, and I personally loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna keep IBO City, Chrome, because it's the search engine, and ¿qué más? I'm gonna pick Spotify. Spotify is a big one for me, music, and just because there's also a lot of podcasts in there.
Such a hard question. I would pick Spotify.
Yeah. For me, I have a lot of apps on here, but they're all for my creativity and stuff. But it never said anything about my computer, so my computer's still there. But social media, I mean, I've always said this: if I could be off social media and not do anything in it, I would. But I also have this big responsibility that I put on myself that social media is a tool, and so how I use it is important. Whether I'm going to use it just to waste my time, or I'm going to use it to inspire and inspire others, which is my goal. So, but I can live without social media, and I go days without being on it. I go days where I'm completely on it, and it's actually my job to be on social media.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like I don't want to be on there.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
for those who don't know, I do coordinate the social media for MCM. So sometimes you're like, I don't want to be on social media anymore. But yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of these apps are just like makes your life easier, but I don't think I need them.
Yeah.
Like I will have
I mean,
Uber, DoorDash, my bank app, but I could also access that on my computer, but they're just much easier.
Or you can go to the ATM.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think I would text my friends through messages because like it's
That's what I'm saying. You can delete messages. That's what I said. I'm cheating on that one because although
can?
WhatsApp
Oh, yeah, you
is an app that I use because I can communicate with anyone in my family members outside of the US without any extra charge,
Yeah.
which is so good.
Yeah.
And I can call, and it just makes life easier.
Oh, okay. Next question. What's your most used emoji?
My most used emoji.
You have to find it in your phone.
My most used. If I click on the emoji, it's the first one that appears, right?
Yes.
It's the laughing one,
Oh, really?
like the laughing one. Yeah, my thumbs up, my crying, and the prayer, and then the.
It says just one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was spilling my information here. Just the laughing one.
Okay, mine is a thumbs up. Sad.
Thumbs up.
It's not that fun. But I use a lot. Since you said 3 already, I'm gonna say 3. I use a lot the squirrely face, like the squirrely eyes, and then the
Okay.
squiggly mouth, because like and then I always use the skull face,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
like like bruh, you know that like bruh, like or,
Oh, okay.
or when I'm like trying to make something funny but like it shouldn't be funny, like just put the skull face.
Okay. Well,
Do
I
you
don't-
use that? Do you use the
I
skull-
do use it. I think it's up there, but I usually use yeah, it's up there. But I think my frequently used is always the laughing one because my best friend always makes me laugh, and my brother is a comedian, so they're always constantly making me laugh. I think all my friends make me laugh. I am not good at making people laugh, just so you guys know. I am not. But my friends and family always make me laugh, so I'm always like laughing, and I'm generally like laughing.
Oh, that's so funny. Honestly, I feel like my friends are so funny that I myself make them laugh too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have good jokes.
Like it just comes. I don't know. It just comes because like you get used to it. Like once they start making jokes, you get the hang of.
Okay.
At least for me, I just love like
I make
messing
my
with
family and friends laugh whenever I'm falling. I'm very clumsy. That's something about me. I'm very clumsy. I'll drop my phone. I'll drop everything, and so I'll hurt myself. They laugh about it, and I'm like, I laugh about it, but that would be my way of making them laugh. But
Yeah.
I'm really not like
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. Well, me too. Like I feel like they would laugh about me too. They always do. Anyways, the next one is: would you rather have all traffic lights you approach be green, or never have to stand in line again?
Would you rather have all the lights?
Green. So this is basically asking you: would you have, because it's driving situation, and never having to stand in line again? So like when you're standing.
Never
driving-
having to stand.
Yeah, so you can just walk up.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't want the lines. Driving, I like, sometimes listening to music, and you're like that driving. And if it's a red light, okay. But in line, like standing, I get bored
I see.
because I'm like, I get bored. So I wouldn't, like, my feet get tired. If I'm walking, I don't get tired. But if you're just standing, you get my little feet get tired.
Yeah. I feel like it depends. If the people like standing with me are really funny and I'm entertained, I can do standing in a line. But because like I like going, like because I drive a lot, so like no sé. I just I prefer.
Oh, the traffic though.
traffic.
Me about traffic.
I know, but I think it's more. I think it's better to do never have to stand in line, because if you had to stand in line like in the car, like you can just listen to music. But it stresses me out, like being late. That's the thing. But you always have to wake up early or something. But that's the one. That's the answer. And the next one is: crunchy or smooth peanut butter? Do you eat peanut butter?
I do. My source of protein.
Okay.
Crunchy. I love the
Crunchy.
the-
Okay.
like if there's little tiny pieces, I love that. I don't know. I just enjoy it more.
Okay. I honestly don't mind any.
You gotta pick one. I mean, they're both good, but if I were to choose,
I would pick crunchy. I'm not a person who's that picky with texture, so I'd say crunchy. Crunchy with bananas. Like I can't eat peanut butter alone.
oh no, no, I mean like I couldn't do that either. I have to eat it with something. Usually, I use peanut butter on my smoothies or my avena, my oats. If I make oats, instead of just eating plain oats, I'll have a tablespoon of peanut butter, almond butter into my avena, and then I add a little bit of maple syrup, so it makes it sweet with protein and not just carbs.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's it. Okay, next question. Cookies or French fries?
Oh, okay. You probably understand this language, and if you don't, I'm very sad. I love French fries, but I don't eat French fries just regular with ketchup. In Guatemala, there's a specific way that street French fries are eaten. You'll have ketchup, mayonesa, which is in English. What is mayonesa?
Mayonnaise and mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yeah, mayonnaise, and then you'll have pica mas. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Pica mas is the
The green one.
sauce.
But if you go, okay, so if you go to Guatemala and you go to the street food and you ask for fries and they ask you con todo, you say yes, they'll give you your papitas
with the little bags.
with the little bags.
With the sauce in it.
Yeah, but they'll have it's ketchup, mayonnaise, and pica mas. That's the way you would eat French fries. So my obsession with French fries comes from back home, but served like that. So I would choose that over cookies anytime.
Wow. You know what?
They don't sell it here.
I've seen it. I think I even ordered one in Guatemala, but I don't think I've ever used all 3 bags. I think I only used like ketchup. I've tried pica mas. I have it. I eat it. I put it on food, but like I never tried it with all 3. So that's gonna be something that I need to try when
It's a street food in Guatemala. If you're going to try street food, they have that. And so, with answering your question, I have a reason behind it. I'll always pick French fries, and every time I go to In-N-Out or stuff like, I'll enjoy it with ketchup, but it's not the same taste to me because that combination is, I don't know, maybe because I just grew up with that flavor.
You know, like ketchup is it tastes so different in Guatemala compared to here. It's like I feel like it's more sweet. Right?
Here?
No, in Guatemala.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really? You don't feel like it tastes sweet?
I never really said, does this taste sweet? Next time I go, I'm going to test it.
Because, okay, Pollo Campero, I was like, why does this ketchup taste sweet? And it had like corn syrup. And I was like, oh, wait.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, that's probably
Pollo Campero is such an interesting story. Do you know the Pollo Campero story?
No.
Pollo Campero is a franchise, kind of like McDonald's, but it's a franchise of fried chicken. So not McDonald's. What's the fried here?
KFC.
KFC. But in Guatemala, it started in Guatemala, Pollo Campero. It originated in Guatemala, and it has been one of the successful franchises that goes in Latin America. But it was originated in my country, which is Guatemala, which is kind of interesting. And now it's like something that people love the chicken there.
It's in LA too.
Yeah, people have brought in LA. There's one in San Francisco. And people love the taste of Pollo Campero. To be honest, I'm not such of a fried person, except French fries. But it's crazy how it gets to when I go home and I'm like, I want to go to a restaurant. To a lot of our little towns, their fine restaurant is like going to Pollo Campero, which is fine. I'm like, I want to go where you guys want to go.
My parents are like always saying like, it's un lujo ir a
Yeah.
Burger King. They're like, yeah, you have to dress up so nice to go to Burger King Guatemala. I'm just
Yeah, it's interesting.
it's different. It's different for sure. And yeah, that's cool though. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Oh,
I was like, did you say what
I
you
didn't say.
Sorry, I went on a roller coaster of French fries, but just the concept and history about it for me is interesting. Anyways, cookies or French fries?
oh my gosh, it's so hard for me because I'm a sweet person.
I noticed you took the candy downstairs.
Let's see. I don't know. Okay. I feel like I would get sick of French fries.
Really?
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Last time I ordered 2 animal fries. Animal fries are basically the In-N-Out with the secret sauce and the fried onions. And I ordered like 2 of them because they're so good. But then I got sick of it. So I was like, no. So I think cookies because you can dip it with milk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, your concept. Okay.
The milk or eat them while you're watching a movie, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I can convince other people.
No, it's okay. I feel like I would get tired of cookies. That's why I said French fries. But I think it just kind of depends on anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there any nutrition in potatoes?
Potatoes?
Probably.
Well, potatoes aren't. Oh, it's so okay. Potatoes, if you actually buy the ones and you take it out and do it yourself, they're pretty good. Unfortunately, the lot of produce that we consume in fast food aren't produced in the original way that we've done it for years. Our ancestors have done, which is it makes a difference.
Have you?
And we dip it in a lot of oil, so that's what makes it very unhealthy. But that's coming from the ground. We're not making it up.
Have you done French fries on your own?
Yeah,
Me too.
I'll do them and
They taste
sometimes in
so
the oven too.
Yeah, they taste so good. Like I love them. It's more fresh, at least for me.
Yeah, it is very, very different.
For sure. Okay, the next one is you're going to sail around the world. What is the name of your boat?
Oh, I went sailing the other day with you.
Oh,
With your mom and
that
our
was like
friend.
2 months ago.
With MCM staff, and it was really fun. I've never been sailing before.
Me either.
I thought it was interesting. I would love to do that. I do get seasick a lot with but motion sickness.
Okay.
I'm very
I didn't see you
like that.
I didn't see you seasick.
A little bit at the end, but I made sure I was eating because that kind of helps me.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
But boat name, what would it be?
What's gonna be the name of your boat?
I don't think I have one.
I would
think about
just
it.
I don't know. I would pick a random one.
I would pick up something significant to me, but it's okay. I mean,
No, because randoms, I don't know. It's more fun.
it's more fun.
You're gonna be like, because people are gonna ask you like, why did you pick that name? I'm just like, it's random. I just picked
I
it.
just picked it. There's no story there.
There's no story there. I guess it's more interesting with the story. Never mind. They're gonna be like, "You're so lame." But we can skip that one because that one's
I
fun.
don't really know.
Okay. Would you rather lose all your money or all your pictures? I already know my answer.
What's your answer?
I would rather lose all my pictures because with the money that I have, I can make more memories and I can take and I can take more pictures. So yeah.
Well, if pictures paid my bills. No, I'm just kidding. Man, I think, well, I'm a photographer
that's
and
so
I
right.
love photography and the idea, the concept of being able to capture a moment and it's freezing time, right? To me, that's what it is, freezing time. But like you said, you can make more. I've had so many times where I've gone into adventures and I lose all the footage, I lose all the photos. And at the end of the day, I always say, well, I have them up here.
Right.
I have them in here and here, and I take what I learn, and I can continue to make more memories.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is really nice to have photos. Like I look back at photos when I was a baby and I'm like, oh man, I was very fortunate that I grew up in that little slip of line where cameras were being more introduced. So I actually have baby pictures.
Yeah.
But years before that, like many people didn't have photos of
I know.
so that's, I'm like, I feel so lucky and blessed that I can see myself as a little baby and to where I am right now.
Were you able to see photos of your mom when she was a baby?
No, my mom doesn't have much. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like my generation, or at least in my town, my time in town where I grew up, I was one of the very few that can say I have photos of myself and my siblings. Because during this time is where cameras started being more popular, like the ones with the film inside. So I feel very blessed that I have that. But I know, like, my mom, she doesn't have a lot of photos of her dad, and it's very rare. And you know, my grandpa passed away when she was very little, so I think we have very, very limited photos of my grandpa. And when we get to see them, it's like very treasured, because it's like you could actually see him, and I never met him, so being able to see him, I can see like, wow. So that's for me the power of image, of photograph, photos taken by photographers. To me, it's like a pause in time, and you can look at it and say, wait, man, I can go back in time and see that little moment.
I feel like you can also like describe the moment when you write it down. It's like picturing. I just had an idea. Like, I personally, for me, I would love to. Right now, like, I would love to read a journal from my grandparents. Like, I feel like that would be so cool to hear more about their daily life, their struggles in that certain time of period. And I personally, like, I want to do that. Like, I want to like write down like my daily struggles, and then I want to see what my future generation sees about that. And I feel like it's really cool, like doing family trees and the photos. And I personally did have like pictures of my mom when she was like 5 years old.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and my grandparents, they died, but there's like a picture of them in Guatemala, and it stays there in the house. And it's so crazy to like, I didn't even like meet them, and it's crazy how like they lived, and then I came to this world. You know, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, there's certain photographs that have so much to tell and so much story. Like, there was this image of my mom, and she showed it to me, and she said, I was pregnant with your brother, but in that photo you won't notice, but it was a very hard, I was struggling, I was having a hard time, and I was really, and she would tell me the story, and she was like, your father came to the US, I was left behind with my daughter, me, and then I was pregnant, and she said I was going through a very emotional roller coaster. I was sad, alone, I missed, you know, my husband, and so that photograph, like, now when I see the photo, I know that story.
Wow.
And so there's the storytelling through photography, writing, and music. In artistic ways, there's so many ways to tell a story, and I think that's what's so powerful about it. Even with Tay Radio, like, we can go back to a show, and I can remember certain situations I was going through. For example, the mental health shows. There was many occasions that I've cried on the show because I was struggling with something. And so when I listen to back, it's a form of art, because you go back and you listen to it and you remember in that time, like, I remember I was going through some hard times emotionally. So it's the beautiful thing about art.
Okay. Now that you said all of this, no. Would you still pick money over photos, or did you change your mind?
No, like I said, I think money is as much as we don't like money is not everything. Well, you don't got money. You're in the streets. Reality is that's the reality of it. So there's a lot of memories that I carry with me that are not in photographs, and I appreciate it and I love it. But at the end of the day, those are here, right?
I see.
They're here, and I've learned from every single memory or moment that I've lived. Like me going back right now, thinking of those shows, I remember. So it's just all about what's in here.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you for explaining about your perspective too, because like pictures can mean a lot for other people.
Oh yeah, for sure it does.
Okay, so the next one is: would you rather read aloud everything you read or sing everything you say out loud?
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry.
I put a confused face as well, so I think I confused you. But it says, would you rather read out loud, like read and you're reading out loud, or sing everything you say out loud? So you're not reading, and in the second case, you're not reading. You're just singing while you're talking. I
would do reading out loud because that is something that I actually struggle with, reading out loud. I love to read in my head, so I'm reading it, but out loud it's a bit hard for me. But I know it's really good for my speech, especially since juggling Spanish and English and other languages, so it really helps me. But what about you? We have a couple minutes and that'll be our last.
Reading out loud? I guess so.
Sing
everything you say. If I'm able to sing good, then I would press sing.
Cause I don't sing. I mean, I sing in the shower, but I'm not like, oh my god, the beautiful voice.
No. But if I have a beautiful voice, then yes, I would do.
You do have a beautiful. You do sing. With that being said, though, we're at the end of the show. Do you want to say any closing thoughts before we?
No. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we are in a tight time, but yes, we hope you guys did enjoy this show.
Yeah, thank you to everyone for joining in every single Fridays, and I hope you guys enjoy your day off if you have a day off. And remember, if you have family members who are veterans or know someone who is veteran, make sure to write a letter, say thank you, ask them about their story. I bet you they have a lot of stories to tell you about their experience and what they've learned. And it's a good way to just connect and get to know other people. With that being said, if you have any suggestions of what other shows we can do, you can DM us, follow us on Instagram and TikTok to get in contact with us. And yeah, thank you so much. We will see you guys next week with Javier and Kimberly.
Yay!
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.